You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello, and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host, Nesbit, and on Saturday, April 16th, Night Demon played a show at Casa Agria Specialty Ales in Oxnard, California, to celebrate the release of the Year of the Demon compilation, and also the release of the Beer of the Demon, which is Night Demon's English-style dark mild ale. This is Night Demon, Year of the Demon, the album and beer release show part 2.
1, 2, 3, 4!
So last week we discussed the beer and the opening band Tongue. I recommend you check them out. And we got into the lead up to Night Demon's first hometown show in years. So today we're going to waste no time and dive into the set list and the show itself. So a killer set list with a great flow, an album release, and a beer to pair with it. It makes for a great night and a great hometown crowd. So Kit Ekman, you podcast listeners should all know him by now. Kit was there to capture the vibe, and like I said, due to the pandemic, the first show in California for years, and the hometown audience was full of friends and family, and a few special guests.
We are at the Night Demon record release party, Year of the Demon, but I have two very special guests here. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Lisa Logan.
And Mike Logan. We're
Jarvis's parents.
And so, I gotta ask, as Jarvis's parents, what is it like to see your son up there on stage doing that?
Magical.
just very proud.
Very full house, lots of people.
Lots of people here, lots of people, familiar faces.
Yes, so
Very
many
familiar faces.
Everyone comes out of the woodwork for Night Demon, and that for a hometown show, and that's gotta feel so good.
It feels great. New faces, old faces.
Great to see everybody having a good time. Things are opening up. Everybody's safe.
And it's
having a great time.
It's really great that y'all go. Y'all, there's my southern accent. It's so great that y'all come out and support Jarvis in doing this. And I know this isn't a one-time thing for you. That you, since the beginning, like you have always come out and supported his musical endeavors.
We've tried. This is all he's ever wanted to do since he was a kid. And we've supported him through many, many different bands and events in his life. And it just feels so good that his dream is coming true. And
his dream is coming true. And it is. And you know better than anyone how hard he's worked for that.
Yes, he has.
Well, I'm excited that y'all are here. I know that the band is all super excited that you're here. Thank you so much for being part of this night and for being part of the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So great hometown crowd. Let's get right into the music and the set list and the songs.
There's a lot of peaks and valleys in this set, and that's the important thing. When you put on a performance and you want to entertain somebody, you can't just be blaring them the whole time. And just looking at the set now, bringing out tracks like Stranger in the Room that we haven't played in a while, Visteria for the first time. I thought it was appropriate, and it just felt really, really nice. To be honest, there's been many times in the past years where I look at the set list and I'm like, are we there yet kind of thing? Not that I don't enjoy performing, but sometimes the set list isn't as inspiring as you think when you get up there and do that. This was not the case. I was really enjoying this show a lot while it was happening. And I was just like going through it and going, oh yeah, this next song, I love this song, So I thought it went really well. We also were conscious to not just have the set flow with peaks and valleys and change the energy up, and take the physical listener on a journey. We were also conscious this time to put different songs, songs in different keys, more back to back. In metal, a lot of the stuff is either in the key of E or in the key of A, and Night Demon is no stranger to that. But with these singles, Wisteria is an F sharp. We started to write songs in some different keys to kind of give your ear a break too, and have a little bit more diversity, and a little bit of a different, different keys give you a different feeling. Not a lot of people know that, it's more of a subliminal thing, but we're trying to pay more attention to that. And on the upcoming studio album, we're definitely experimenting with some different keys on that.
Yeah, I mean, starting with Wisteria, that was a burner, going into Screams in the Night, right into Empire's Fall, which went over well, and then right into Hollowed Ground, then right into Dawn Rider. I believe we did the Overkill intro, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really remember, but I think we did. Then we had our first break with the Howling Man, then right into Kill the Pain, then Are You Out There, right into Flight of the Manticore, a little bit of Talking Before Stranger in the Room. Then we brought it down with Darkness Remains, and then came out with a 4-banger after that. We like to sample Ride Out for Darkness, and came out with Full Speed Ahead, Heavy Metal Heat, Chalice, Night Demon. It's hard at this point to come up with a set list because we have so many songs. You want to be able to cater to what everybody wants to hear. Since it was the album release show, we had to do all 4 of the new singles. And, we touched base on and did an episode on Wasted Years, but, we didn't play Wasted Years. It's not one of those songs that for people in our hometown they would even really care about. I don't know. It's weird. There's so many songs we could have picked. And I think the 15 that we did, it was perfect. It was just what we needed to play.
So the show kicks off, like Dusty mentioned, opening up with the live premiere of Wisteria.
Playing Wisteria live for the first time was insane because we played it first, and that's a song that you definitely have to warm up for. I had a bit of a struggle playing it and singing it at the same time. I'm still working on that. We warmed up for a good hour before, but nothing gets you prepared. Once you hit the stage, it's different. I definitely started to cramp up a little bit, but it was a good song, and it was a good song to come back to for our first hometown show in 4 years. And especially coming out of this pandemic, I thought it set the mood, and I'm really glad that we were able to pull that off somehow.
Starting with Wisteria, that was a burner, going into Screams in the Night. We didn't even really do any kind of stopping. We just let it kind of hang over and went right into Screams.
All right, so we are here at the Year of the Demon release party in Oxnard, California. And who do I have with me?
Mikey DeStito there, Alicia Silverstone of the videos.
All right, so Mikey has a very special history with Night Demon. And those of you who've been listening to the podcast for a long time might recognize the name. But for those who don't, Mikey, fill us in.
The boys, they've been my friends for years. I got to be in their videos. First one, I was part of the gang and got my throat ripped out. A lot of bloody corn syrup in my mouth. And the second one...
It was a rather gruesome death.
Oh, yeah, that was fun, though. They didn't taste too good, but it was fun. I swallowed a bunch of that shit.
Yeah, and then the second one?
Second one, I was the geeky... What is it called? Bug...
Exterminator
guy, and I got to kill the Black Widow.
And Black Widow.
So, yeah, in the end, I still don't get the girl, huh? God.
So even if you don't know Mikey, you actually know Mikey. So how far back do you go with the Night Demon guys?
Since, Good Bar days, when I met the boys and we'd book them at the Good Bar, downtown Ventura. I mean, again, I was one of their biggest fans. I loved their style. They welcomed me in. I was honored. And to this day, more than a fan, they're my friends.
And so how does it feel that they're doing a show here tonight for Year of the Demon?
Oh, Year of the Demon, the ale.
And the beer of the Demon. And Mikey's here with a very full glass of Beer of the Demon.
This is delish. And my God, I couldn't be happier for the boys. They deserve it. They put in the hard work. They're not like any other band out there. No disrespect. They kick ass at what they do. They do it right. They're focused, and they do it for the fans too. They give us that energy, that music, and they blow our minds. They blow my mind every time.
You said that brilliance. So what are you hoping for tonight? What are you thinking?
Oh, I haven't heard anything of the new album, so I'm again going to be surprised, and I know it's just going to blow my mind.
Oxnard, California, Year of the Demon release party. Who do I have here?
This is Tim Baker, Sierra Thungle.
And who else do we have here?
This is Matt Baker. I'm Tim Baker's son.
And what are we doing here tonight?
We're here to sample Night Demon beer and to sample the fantastic sounds of Night Demon themselves.
And Tim, I happen to know that you are a rather connoisseur of beer. Tell me your take on the Beer of the Demon.
I don't know about connoisseur, but I mean I know what good beer is, and Night of the Demon beer is pretty damn tasty stuff.
Yeah.
I'll have to admit it's. I thought there was going to be like some gnarly, dark, like sloggy Guinness type dark beer, but it's surprisingly refreshing, and it's got that demony aftertaste, which is awesome.
Now we've established that you are a guest on the Year of the Demon album on the 100 miles an hour Sierra Thungle cover, but you're not working tonight.
No, I'm playing, not working tonight yet. I'm not playing. I'm playing, not playing. But yes, no, I'm not working.
But you're not singing, and I mean, at some point that's going to happen, though, right?
There's been rumors of that happening somewhere down the line, but we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, it'll happen. Yeah, definitely.
All right, we're all keeping our fingers crossed. All right, so Matthew, tell us a little bit about your history with Sierra Thungle and Night Demon as part of this family, because I know you're part of it.
Yeah, right. Well, I've been listening to Sierra Thungle all my life. I believe even pre-utero, I think. I've always been a really big fan. I feel like that might be construed as being biased, but legitimately always been one of my favorite bands. And Night Demon, of course, once I was turned on to them after the partnership between Jarvis and the band and everything, they've been one of my favorite local metal acts, and, it's always a pleasure to see them play. It's been a while since I've seen them play. I think it was like 2018, 2019, last time I've seen them play. So it's going to be great to see them again tonight. I just sampled their beer myself. It's not somebody that drinks a ton of different types of beers. It's a very nice. It's very interesting, very, very, very easy to drink. It's very pleasant. I already got a 4-pack to bring back home to the boys later tonight. So, going to be enjoying that later.
And what's it like that this is a hometown show for the record release party? How does that feel for you?
Oh yeah, no, I mean like, it's always a blast to see somebody like coming back to their roots per se, to do that sort of thing, like doing like the Frost and Fire shows like Night Demon does, here in town, and Uncle, that sort of thing too. So whenever you got any sort of like big collab things like this, like with their beer and stuff, like it's always cool to like see a bunch of the local talents, all your friends show up and sample the local wares, everything else. It's a fun time. It's a good time.
Can't beat it. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Enjoy the night.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
My biggest train wreck of the night was during Dawn Rider. I dropped a stick and then I fumbled for a bit and started playing double bass in the solo section, which the guys kind of liked. So when we played it at Hell's Heroes in Houston, I added double bass to the guitar solo, and it's kind of cool. It's fun, so it's funny how those little like brain farts and mistakes turn into something positive in the long run.
So up to this point, we have the live premiere of one of Night Demon's thrashiest songs, then back to Curse of the Damned for Screams in the Night, then another new single, Empire's Fall, then Hallowed Ground, which is one of my favorite tracks from Darkness Remains, into Dawn Rider, and then my all-time favorite Night Demon song, The Howling Man. So a great mix of new singles and all-time classics. And it continues with 2 more new singles, Kill the Pain and Are You Out There? And then a bit of a surprise when they pull out their instrumental, Flight of the Manticore.
Look at the fucking moon. It is a full fucking moon tonight, huh? Flight of the Manticore. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Flight of the Manticore was great. You know, I always feel like that's a really good crowd pleaser. And it's a little time for Jarvis to rest his voice and us to just focus on playing our instruments and really showing our musical skills. I love playing the solo in that song. It's a really fun one for me.
Hey guys, Nesbitt here. If you would like to support Night Demon and this podcast, the best way to do it is to become a Night Demon subscriber. Not only will you be doing your part to support a true heavy metal band out there really living it, you'll also gain access to a ton of extras. Bonus audio content, a subscriber-only merch store with rare items from the band's archives. You can stream never-before-heard demos and unearth live concerts from the live vaults. Communicate with the other Night Demon diehards on an exclusive subscriber forum, and gain early access to all press releases, album pre-orders, new merchandise, and a ton more. And another thing that I think is pretty cool is Night Demon will be donating 10% of every subscription fee to the Metal Cares Foundation, which is a charitable fund the band started in 2014 to aid those in our metal community. So head over to nightdemon.net/subscriber and join us as we make heavy metal history together as one. And on a side note, I'll personally think you're a grade A badass.
How's everybody fucking doing tonight? Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so fucking much, man. Seriously, it's great to see all you. You know, we haven't played a hometown gig since October fucking 2018. I know a lot of people haven't played a hometown gig in a while, right? You know, we're all itching to get out. Everybody's feeling good, right? Everybody's feeling safe? All right, for the one man in the back who didn't fucking yell, yeah! He's a stranger in the road!
Same with Darkness Remains. I mean, that's kind of like my guitar god moment. I get to just lean back and close my eyes and just go for it on that solo. There's a little bit of improvisation there. So it's always fun for me to kind of try to challenge myself and see what kind of little things I can do. It's all kind of based around the same scales and notes, but I do kind of change things up here and there. Full Speed Ahead, another banger. People were really stoked to see that. We had a little pit opened up during that song, which you'll see in the video.
So we are at the Night Demon Year of the Demon record release party at Casa Agria Specialty Ales in Oxnard, California. And I am standing here talking to, tell me your name, sir.
Paul Lacayo.
All right, Paul, tell me your story. How did you become familiar with Night Demon?
Well, I have Talking Maiden and Nesbitt to thank for that one. They played Made in Hell on that podcast a while back. And
on the Iron Maiden podcast.
On the Iron Maiden podcast. So,
and that was your introduction to Night Demon?
That was my introduction to Night Demon, and then I dug through their two albums at the time. They didn't have the EP demo on Spotify at the time, but I think I ordered it at one point. Still waiting, but I've I love all their original stuff. I actually started a petition that I was trying to get them to open for Iron Maiden.
Oh, you're the one who started the petition.
I'm the dude who started that. Yeah,
I remember
haven't been able to check it between wife and kids' duties, and we new house and everything. But I've been following every week. I've been trying to get more T-shirts. This beer thing is amazing. I'm really excited for the new album release later this year.
So yes, you are now quaffing. This is your first beer of the Demon.
This is my first beer of the Demon.
What are your impressions?
I need to have another one.
He's gonna have a sip right now. Here we go, right here on the spot.
Really smooth, really, really good, really good. I can't wait to share this with my father-in-law and some close friends of mine too. So
and your wife just took away 2 4-packs I saw. So
yes.
You are taking some home tonight.
Oh, absolutely,
which is wonderful.
Yeah, totally.
So what are your thoughts for the show tonight? What are you expecting? What are you hoping for? Wish list? Tell me.
Oh God, second time seeing him. What did you need? Second time seeing him. I saw him at the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, so I can't get away from beer and Night Demon at the same time.
It's a winning combination.
Absolutely. What am I excited to hear? I'll go with it's the 3-way tie between Darkness Remains, Heavy Metal Heat, and Empire's Fall. Any one of those 3, I'll be happy.
Saturday night, get your tickets to the show. It's been one hell of a week. Your minds are overload. It's all suck it up, don't let the mean get you down. Fight back, have no fear, you're the toughest one around. When your blood is pumping high, and you're feeling like your heart's on overdrive. Set the stage and your life begins. Come on, you can hear the thunder roll. Let's go. You can feel the. That's right. Mental heat. Grab your shit. Now it's time to hit the road. Another minute here. You're going to explode. It's all suck it up, don't let the mean get you down. Like that, have no fear, you're the toughest one around. When your blood is pumping high, and you're feeling like your heart's on overdrive. To the stage and your life begins. One more, you can hear the thunder roll. Come on, you can feel the. When your blood is pumping high, and you're feeling like your heart's on overdrive. Set the stage and your life begins. You can hear the thunder roll. You can feel the heavy metal heat. Thank you.
I have 2 very special guests here.
Hey, Mike here, Jarvis's dad.
And you don't have to speak if you don't want to.
And I'm Mike's wife.
There we go. There we go. All right. So I was up front for most of the gig, and every time I looked over my shoulder, there was Mike, Jarvis's dad, right there with a big smile on your face. How does that feel for you to see your son up there doing what he does?
Oh, it just brings so much joy to me. I just watched him since he was a kid. Just this was in his heart. He worked so hard, and
the three guys, Armand, Dusty, and Jarvis, just really busting their butts and keep going, and I'm just so proud of them.
And he credits you. You know, he credits you for being a musical inspiration for him and for always encouraging him.
Well, yeah, I always tried to do whatever I could, and I remember way back when he was a little kid, we used to pull out the guitars and strum around a little bit, and anyway, I'm just, this is brings so much joy to me.
And I know this isn't a one-time that you come to many of his shows, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So how would you rate tonight versus other nights?
This was the best. The best. This band is so tight and so awesome, and they're just so good that I don't have words to say, man. It's just fantastic.
So Oxnard, California, Night Demon record release party, Year of the Demon. And I'm now talking to a very special guest. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Taylor Wilson.
All right, Taylor, you gotta get us into what is your history with Night Demon?
So I've kind of been following them on tour with my dad for 6 or 7 years. So I got a couple shows under my belt. And now I moved out here to work for the band, and I help work on the podcast and kind of little bits and pieces of everything they do.
And you pretty much moved out here from Georgia, correct?
Yes.
And that was when? That was 2020, 2019? When was that?
Yeah, that was 2020, January.
So right before the pandemic. And what sort of things do you do for Night Demon?
I work on the podcast. I'm basically like Jarvis, 0.5. I help handle anything he works on, help managing the bands, help with accounting, shipping for the heavy metal store, and just in-person merch sales whenever I can.
So as a member of the organization and also a longtime fan, what were your thoughts about the show tonight?
It was great. I think this is a good warm-up show to help them get on the road in Europe for a couple months. The reception was great. It's great to see really strong hometown support. And they were really energetic. I think a mosh pit broke out towards the end.
It actually did.
that was really cool to see.
And the new song sounded killer, didn't they?
Oh, they were great. That was much better than I anticipated.
Yeah, you never know when you bust out 4 new songs how the audience is going to react, but they were all right there.
Yeah, good hometown support.
Fuck yeah! Thank you guys so very fucking much. We've got one very last song for you here tonight. We want to thank Casa Agria, Eric and Mike, and the whole fucking staff here for putting on some fucking concerts, right? Making a heavy metal beer. That's pretty cool, right? This is Night Demon's actual first gig in Oxnard. In Oxnard fucking proper. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Maybe the Nard curse scared us away for a while. But, like we said, we haven't played here in town since 2018. And we really, really appreciate all you guys coming out. I'm looking around and I know all of your faces. And no matter where music takes us around the world, all we think about are you guys. Really all the fucking time. So thank you so much. This really means a lot. You guys are fucking great. We'll see you guys again from Oxnard, California. Night Demon! We'll see you next time. Good night.
You know, I want to thank our friend Joe, Bill, and Jerry, too, that came out and helped with loading in and out and helped with the guitars and just helped with, you know, being eyes for us during the show. So it's really cool when your close friends come out and really work hard for you. Same thing with Waldo. Our friend Chris Husted, who's a great sound engineer, came out and, you know, offered the hand here and there. You know, it was good vibes, man. You know, nothing bad happened. There was, you know, some mosh pitting going on and nobody got hurt. You know, our friend Kate and her son Tyler helped with merchandise. You know, it's a hometown thing, so it's homegrown at that point. You know, a lot of people that are your close friends come out of the woodwork to help you. And that speaks volumes of what they think about our band and what they would go and put themselves out in the shit to do for us. So really awesome that they showed up to help out because, you know, we need all the help we can get when it comes to stuff like that. And, you know, when you're putting a show together like that, you know, it has to be just right. And of course, our friend Kid Ekman was there who came out, you know, for one day to come out and be Rocky and to support us as he always does. You know, I can't speak, you know, in higher regard for the people that put their time aside to help us.
You know, different vibe because it's not a venue, but the beer's good there. People were fucking stoked to drink the beer and enjoy it with us and get a real kick-ass show from us after all this time and the pandemic and all that. You know, we were supposed to do a lot more over those 2 years, and it just fell off to the wayside. So I was really happy to give everybody that performance and that show. I feel like it was very deserving of our fans. So can't wait to do it again. Can't wait to make the next beer and do it again.
But all in all, I'm so proud of this beer and the fact that Casa Agria was willing to do this, and I'm very happy that it's successful and selling very well. And this was definitely the best local show that this band has ever played, and the vibe was just incredible. It was really electric in there, and man, I'm really glad that we were able to capture this.
So all in all, huge success. You know, there was a lot of you know, leading up to this, it was kind of like, what do we, you know, how's this going to go off? Are people, does anybody care about Night Demon around here anymore? You know, it's been so long, but, you know, myself being kind of like more involved in the scene around here and, you know, working with a lot of bands and going to a lot more shows here, you know, I could feel there was a good buzz about it, you know, talking to people, you know, while I would be out and about. Yeah, it was starting to feel really good. So I knew it was going to really turn out well, and I'm happy it did. So, yeah, if you're ever in Oxnard, I'm pretty sure they still have the beer. So get it while it lasts, because after this, I don't think they're going to brew it again unless they want to do a second batch of it at some point. If it's a good seller or something, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
So a great show and a great crowd. If you're in Oxnard, check out Casa Agria Specialty Ales. If you want to hear more of this show, you can listen to this entire live show in the subscriber section on nightdemon.net. And not only that, you can watch video of the show We have a full video of this show as bonus content for Night Demon subscribers, so check that out, nightdemon.net. Until next week, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at MetalForgeRadio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking podcast, a non-genre based, all ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.